is my base. I've been at it for 10 years on and off, and it's been a wild ride. To put it succinctly, Clash of Clans has evolved a lot. And to put it simply, it had its ups and downs. Back when I started, I was honestly really excited about the colorful walls that Clash of Clans had. That was literally the main attraction for me back when I started, but then it just became seeing the base evolve, transform, and just change into higher levels. It was an innocent time, and I can argue that Town Hall 5 was when I was almost at the point of giving up, but I just went to Town Hall 6 instead and found some footing. And back in those days, the highest Town Hall level was Town Hall 10. The lava walls were not invented yet. The level 11 was still electric. The maybe cooler kind of walls, but doesn't fit what Town Hall 10 should be like. I'd say that there was a lot of innocent hope of eventually being maxed. Cause I thought the 10 town hall levels at the time were the ones meant to be as such. It was the original 10 and that was it. Eventually I learned that Town Hall 9 and 10 were added over time, but the game still felt relatively complete. And if teenager me knew what was gonna come, I honestly have no idea how my behavior will have changed. I was persistent, and by the time Town Hall 11 came at the end of 2015, I was already entering Town Hall 8. 3 town halls below max. And I'd say that it was an exciting time because Town Hall 11 felt like a continuation. And nowadays I just think it was an appropriate ending for one era of Clash. I continued on with my Town Hall 8 journey, and I'd argue that the best Town Halls were 7 and 8. And later on, Town Hall 9, I reached Town Hall 9 and it was a blast. It was a massive game changer for me with the addition of the Archer Queen and the iconic "Aha!" battle cry. And honestly, I still remember the excitement I had the first time I deployed her. It was amazing. The best 40,000 Dark Elixir I could have spent. And it meant a lot. There were only 11 town halls. And Town Hall 11 seemed to be added like 18 to 18 months, 22 years since Town Hall 10. Although it doesn't make sense, but for many players it felt like forever. And for a long time, Town Hall 11 was the highest level. And I guess you could say I was approaching Town Hall 10 slowly. And then Town Hall 12 came and the game changed again. Siege machines were added, but I don't think Town Hall 10 could access them yet. At least, I don't remember being able to access them. I remember it being a while before I got to Town Hall 11 and later on Town Hall 12. Strangely enough, I think I was Town Hall 10 by the time Town Hall 12 came around. But what I remember is that the gap between where I was relative to the highest town hall and where the highest town hall was getting shorter. And I can remember how that really bolstered my compromise with the game. I think I never gave Clash of Clans a real break. At least not for longer than a year. I keep thinking hard about it. But I think at some point around Town Hall 12 or 13, I did have my first hiatus. I really don't remember well, but I did have one. But what I do remember is that I came just in time before the sneak peeks for a new town hall. And I think that was a motivator to see a new town hall added at a reasonable time. See, when Town Hall 12 came around, I was still reading the forum posts back when the forums existed. And I do remember very clearly that the Supercell team wanted to add a new town hall every 18 months. I kind of shrugged at it. I found it fair because higher level players will want new stuff to upgrade, which is their definition of new content. And it'd be reasonable for us lower players to at least have a significant amount of time with a certain town hall being the highest in the game. That much is certain how I felt. And for a time, as the years went by and Town Hall 15 eventually was added, I think it was appropriate. The gap between where I was and the highest Town Hall level was shortening. So much so that I eventually became Town Hall 14 when it was the highest level. And that was big. That was big for me because I think that was like 2020. Let's see, Town Hall 15 was in 2023. So yes, that was post-pandemic. I think that was also the same time when Clan Capital was added. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that was a big time for me. For the first time, I was truly maxed out. Like, when I was becoming Town Hall 13, I think I was becoming Town Hall 13 just as the sneak peeks were coming in. So being able to complete that Town Hall and become the highest level Town Hall possible at the time, that was big. And I'd argue that was the start of the best time I've had in the game because I was able to enjoy the new content almost immediately. I remember for a while waiting for the crossbows to be added because the max available was the ones for Town Hall 13 for a while. And at some point eventually, you could say I was partly through Town Hall 14 and then Town Hall 15 was added. And in hindsight, I'd say that will mark the end of one era. But I think it was the best climactic moment you could ask. Because that Town Hall really did change things. With the addition of the monolith and the spell towers, attacking will change forever. Because now you have to consider another part of the opponent's strategy. But it still felt like Clash of Clans. New town halls were coming every 18 months. And I felt like I was having real progress as a somewhat free-to-play player, as the Gold Pass existed at the time, and I found a lot of value in it because it provided a hope that I'd eventually be maxed out, and for a reasonable price too. I know I skipped a lot of time between somewhere around 2017 and 2019, but just as I narrated the my Town Hall 9 story that it was meaningful, it was mostly the same throughout those years. My hiatuses kind of refreshed my mind, if not helped me improve and break some old habits. So, back with the story, I became Town Hall 15, and you could say I reached Legends League at that point as a Town Hall 15 player as well. I played Legends one Town Hall under in, I think, at Town Hall 14, but it was some really good shit, and I think the strategy I showed originally that had electro dragons, regular dragons, and baby dragons, it was coming to fruition. Also, not in the form that you're seeing it now because of hero equipment, which is another story. But Town Hall 15 felt special and quite challenging at the time. You couldn't just 3-star the Town Hall willy-nilly. If anything, getting 2 stars consistently was a big deal, and my clan appreciated that. Some people say that even pro players got 0 stars on Town Hall 15, or 1. So, it was quite a big time for me as a Clash of Clans player. But at some point, it was getting a little repetitive, so my attention to the game eventually went down, and I took another hiatus halfway through. This hiatus was a lot longer. It lasted almost from somewhere halfway through 2023 to 2024, all the way to October to November 2024. Much more recent. And by then, the game had changed drastically. Hold on. I think I misremembered. It changed from, I think it was when Town Hall 16 was added, or maybe I had an intermittent time when I saw the update for hero equipment. Because I remember seeing when the Frozen Arrow was the first hero equipment to be added. And the only equipment that were there were the original ones for the Town Hall level. I know I was on and off, checking every so often for on the base, but never having any really compromise. It was then in 2024, later on in that year, when I decided to just go for it. Kind of reluctantly, because it meant probably spending money and making handling my budget a little harder. But there was still a similar goal. If rushing was the more viable option, I could just truly max out my Town Hall 15 base and then just rush to Town Hall 17. So I joined a clan that predominantly had people from India, but it was labeled as English speaking. I made good friends with the clan leader, and I was one of the first to speak to him. That was a rare privilege that I had, and I'm grateful for that. Honestly, grateful for the experience I had with the clan, at least for the time being. So, if you observe my base, it's pretty much a dead base by now. It's been 2 weeks since I stopped playing abruptly. So, if things were going well, what happened? Well, as you can see in the attack right now, the opponent pretty much took out the Monolith, Eagle Artillery in one Royal Champion dive. And this guy barely looks like a new Town Hall 15, still with a lot of Town Hall 14 troops. And based on what I saw, he got 98. I had a dead base, of course, and mass dragons are a bit of a mess strategy to be using. And he was missing two here, the Warden and the Minion Prince. He could have added that. But that is tantamount to what was going on. Not that my base was getting defeated easily, but that 3-starring a base started to mean very little. It started to become an expectation. That the game was becoming so quote-unquote easy that if you did not get a 3-star, if you consistently got 90, 95, and the occasional 3-star, it's not enough. You had to get 3 stars 100% of the time, or you're a failure of a player. Note my tone change. That's really what happened. For a time, I was appreciated because I was of the few players that attacked in Clash of Clans in the clan. I'd argue that there were like 3 or 4 players that attacked in the Clan War League, and it was pain for him. And that was his main frustration. He wanted people to attack. And for a time, I found that reasonable. Because if you're opting in for war attacks, then the expectation is that you'll be around for another 2 days to attack. And then the clan kept improving. It leveled up, more loyal players came around. I asked for a few hiatuses because of missing hero. I mean, for, to not being included in war, I opted out. But he put me in anyways. Our clan leader put me in anyways, despite me mentioning that I wanted to opt out. I wasn't pissed at the time because we were still in good relations. But my old attack was effectively a queen walk. Let me give you a look. Dragon Family started with a queen walk, where the idea was to take out as much of the base as possible in general and try to funnel. The flame flinger was very frequently used to funnel through the other side and make it easier to get to the town hall for the other troops. It wasn't the best strategy, but it consistently got 2 stars and oftentimes very high percentage, 70, 80, occasionally 90. And at times it was a 3-star, despite my troops being dragged into the town hall bomb and the poison spell. But I remember executing it relatively well for the difficulty of the town hall back in the day, and you could argue I was still improving in execution. It was a simple strategy I could execute consistently, but one day I got a 1-star. I think it was one of those anxiety-driven moments. And because I'm really bad at reading sarcasm, joking tones, and all, I was pretty much told to just change the strategy. That it was a bad attack. I suck as a player. The tone started to shift. First, it was one player that wasn't the leader. But eventually, the leader was catching on. And that was a time when I asked for a break to improve my war attacks. Then came Clan War League and I wasn't ready. I was still in the process of learning my new version of the attack strategy, which included a champion dive. I got a handful of 1-stars, a few 3-stars. Even at one point, I was asked to just take on a Town Hall 13, a very low Town Hall, because it was a guaranteed 3-star. I guess in some way it was in part pride because I wanted to take on the higher Town Hall levels. But at some point, I was asked why was I struggling taking on Town Hall 15s. And for me, that was a question that was so alien to me, because for the majority of my Clash career, it was never easy to say three star your opponent. Even back in the day at Town Hall 8, three-starring your mirror was an achievement. Town Hall 9, same thing. And those were various town halls below the maxed. But now, Town Hall 15 is just supposed to be a training town hall? After the legacy it left behind? You're just expected to three-star everything? And the thing is that even after I kept trying and improving, and eventually got enough progress to consistently almost 90% war bases, with occasional 3 stars, it was no longer a lucky thing to get a 3-star. It was starting to become occasional. But at some point, my clan leader was asking, why are you always ending up with 90, 95, 99 in your war attacks? And he literally told me, change the fucking strategy. Use the archer blimp. When I tried the archer blimp a few times, it's not exactly a strategy I want to be consistently using. I could do it, but I couldn't do it perfectly all the time the way they expected me to. That will take its own time. And I wasn't really up for doing that. I just wanted to learn this and learn to perfect it. It was that time when I was close enough to say that I could use this to consistently 3-star not just Town Hall 15s, but even Town Hall 17s. Because I had 3-star Town Hall 17s with that strategy. But it was never enough. As much as my clan leader uses the crying emojis, I feel like he was really pissed. Like he thought that he was entitled now, because I feel like he was entitled to 3-stars. And when you look at it contextually, you can see why. Lower town halls are being able to 3-star at least one town hall above. But when you take it into context, I feel like offense was being buffed far more than defense. And in some cases, defenses were being nerfed, made weaker, whether directly or indirectly, but it was happening. And I think what happened is that Clash of Clans is starting to become a little too easy. And not in a good way, but in a way that doesn't benefit a lot of players unless you can do the most meta strategy that can consistently 3-star a base 100% of the time. And I don't think Clash of Clans is supposed to be that way. Over time, I kept learning new strategies. Remember that time at Town Hall 5 when I felt like when it was just not fun? It was because I wasn't getting a lot of 3-stars. I was getting mostly 2-stars, 1-stars, and having to contend with my troops being killed a little too fast. But I think that was the point. That was That was the point when you had to wake up and start making real strategies that worked. And I feel like with how a lot of players just go a little too fast. I don't know. I just see a lot of the clan was relatively rushed with defenses 3 town hall levels, occasionally 2, maybe 1. I don't know. 3 town hall levels below where they were supposed to be. Usually town hall 11 and 12 defenses for a town hall 14, something like that. And it's a bit telling. People want to be town hall 17, but there is very little reason to loyally max out your base, as I'm doing right now. I'm wondering a lot, and this is already 30 minutes long, but to drive the point home, that was a breaking moment. When I was told that 90, 95, and 99% 2 stars was not enough, I stuck out like a sore thumb, being the only player to 2-star base because I didn't go with the crowd. You could say it's a skill issue, and you're right. I'm always mediocre. That much I'm aware. But I liked my journey. I liked how over time I just got better and better. And there wasn't anyone constantly harassing me at every war. Why can I not 3-star my own mirrors? Where it's Town Hall 15s, Town Hall 16s, Town Hall 17s, or on a rare occasion when I just had bad luck, Town Hall 14s. These are the only attacks I have left in my history. I guess it deletes it after 14 days. But this will be decently representative. 25% of the time I could get a 3-star. And sometimes I get close enough. And this was regular multiplayer. I remember the last few wars I had, I was getting 90% almost consistently. Even had a 2-star and a 3-star. And the guy was still throwing the crying emojis as though he is just disappointed in me constantly. So, what did I do after that? Well, I wasn't ready per se to give up on the game. Or at least I didn't want to. I was hoping to at least max out my walls and hopefully and maybe just be done with it or move on to a higher town hall level. But I saw the writing on the wall. I was never enough. Everyone else was doing the popular thing to get a 3-star. The short term way to be a good Clash of Clans player that will very likely get nerfed in some update down the road. He already got the invisibility spell again, which is fundamental for Archer Blimp. One of my clanmates said it was not a big deal, but the writing was on the wall. There were already two strategies that worked extremely well because of the invisibility spell. And people were getting really good. I was still using the invisibility spell as a strategy, but I just did not want to put up with an Archer Blimp. It was not viable because there were very few people to donate the super archers to begin with. So I'd be using clan medals every war. Every attack to at least practice it. And that's not viable. At some point, I just decided to after that encounter, I just decided to ask for a break. I literally said in a pinned message that I'm opting out of Clan Wars. I need a break. And my clanmate did as usual. He didn't listen and put me in war. That's when I had it. That's when I had enough. If 5 stars wasn't enough, then I might as well just do 0. I did not attack that war. I did not even look at them. I just left as soon as the war ended. And I did not look back. I still have the invitation. If anything, seems like they want me back. But I don't feel like coming back. I don't belong in that clan. Everyone else is better than me, and I am just not willing to do what other people ask of me. Because at the end of the day, this is a game. This is supposed to be fun. But with the constant yearly pressure that a new town hall will be added every year, and the bombardment of microtransactions that keeps coming, at some point you just have to realize that you have to decide what is your max town hall level. At what point you're going to decide you're properly maxed out and you completed the game. That isn't what Supercell says is the max town hall. Because when does it end? When I started, it was Town Hall 10. Town Hall 10 was the max. Then came Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12. The gaps between those were reasonable enough to make it feel like that was an era in itself. Town Hall 15 was the last true Town Hall. Because when Town Hall 16 arrived, merging defenses just came about. It was already applying tape to a broken structure to try to fix it, because you were adding too many things onto that table. Trying to bring up a metaphor. Let's say you have a table made of glass, and you wanted to make the largest Jenga tower using bricks. You know, the red bricks that decorate houses in the US. But at some point, you just keep adding so many bricks that the glass starts to crack. And eventually, it breaks. Or alternatively, you apply tape to that glass. In the hopes of maybe it won't break, maybe you can keep making a Jenga tower that's maybe 20, 20 layers tall, made out of bricks. But some point when you're reaching like the 18th layer or the 19th one, it just breaks. And suddenly your entire tower just collapsed. All that remained are the first 8 layers, because those were the closest to the ground and the most stable. But the rest, it all collapsed. And merging defenses at the rate that's happening, to the point that even an iconic defense had to be merged for whatever this is. It's a time that the game is becoming unsustainable, and they're squeezing out everything that it can. And it's sad because I actually like Town Hall 17 aesthetically, but as it currently is, the game is not going to be fun if I'm going to be harassed every war that I actually need because of the ores that I need to collect through it, especially the starry ores. I wasn't going to handle it. I wasn't going to just do that. So I guess for me, Town Hall 15 is the max. And after that, I'm out. That's the end for this account. So, what now? Do I just end the video? No. I still have one more thing I want to address. The community. I know comment sections are cancer by default, but the community strikes me as the kind to just be a little more forgiving on the game. I know there were some events like when the hero skin was replaced by a decoration. You know, an additional attempt to quote unquote add more funsies that players could just get that will be in the gold pass. But the thing is that we have gold passes that included a decoration and a hero skin. That was an attempt to milk players. You want to know what hero skins cost? Well, if they are, no, they're nothing. They cost $9. Oh wait, fuck yeah, they're legendary hero skins cost $9. And at some point, there isn't a point to add any more hero skins. I have everything I need. I like what I've got. The Grand Warden, so fucking iconic with the party! Woo! And the Barbarian King just going like, I'm a rock star! And of course, this Archer Queen skin is iconic for me, and it's one of the first that honestly did a nicety to add a frosty texture to the active ability. And I always liked this Royal Champion skin from the beginning. So you could say I'm a frosty and a party kind of player. Something that just contrasts with the calmness that I seek sometimes. But that was the one time the community did have a backlash. And that's reasonable. But I think they're overlooking something, that Clash of Clans is a business. And I just have to wonder if they are even profitable, if they are still trying to milk the players for everything they can, or they're just trying to please Tencent, their largest shareholder, by more than 50%. So it's a controlling shareholder. Well, I think. Correct me on that one. I'm not even sourcing it. But it's from what I heard. Because, shareholders want number go up every year. Because if I had to guess, it's so they can show their other shareholders that they too are going number go up. But does it matter? But does it even matter if the number's going up for the good reasons or for the bad reasons? And that's also correlating with Clan Wars. My number went up, but at what cost? Dragon Family is the kind of attack that I like because I love dragons. And even my bestie uses something with dragons because he too also just wants to play with the strategies that he likes. And in all fairness, I think he gets really good stuff. 3 stars, good performance against his higher Town Hall. But when you look at it in the context, it seems that the game is just a little too easy. And people are just like defending the multi-billion-dollar company because I guess they made Clash of Clans a part of their identity. And when their identity is threatened, they just go up in arms because it feels like a threat to their own life, to their livelihood. And that's not what I want. I don't want a cult for a community and I don't want to be harassed every 2 days and feel shit because I'm not never good enough. Dance Dance Revolution is the kind of game that provides a real balance between me wanting to get better, but nobody's telling you to. And while that game is also being milked for what it's worth, at least people are acknowledging it and fighting against it. So, my question to you guys is, when does it end? Town Hall 18? Town Hall 20? Town Hall 30? Because at this rate, let's see, it's 2025 and Town Hall 18 is supposed to come out. By the end of the decade, we'll have Town Hall 23. If they don't up it to a new Town Hall every 6 months, or 9. By the end of the century, if they keep it up to that point, if they survive, it's currently Town Hall 17 on 2024. There's 76 years to go. So 76 Town Halls to go. See, what I wanted from each Town Hall that I feel was being lost in Town Hall 13 and Town Hall 14, but then was revived as the upgrades start to make real differences with Town Hall 15. Well, I wanted for a Town Hall to mean something. Look at these upgrades. They look good on paper, another 60 DPS, another 100 hit points, but is that it? Back in Town Hall 8, your defenses will go up by at least maybe 20% in strength, sometimes 25, but because of the small numbers, it actually meant something. A Town Hall 8 or a Town Hall 9 to a Town Hall 7 will be a real threat and will be a real challenge to 3-star. Like I said, I was 3-starring Town Hall 17s and 16s as though they were equals, or even worse, a Town Hall 14 with just more beefy defenses. There are a lot of issues I could point out, but at the end of the game, I just want Clash of Clans to be fun because I like it. It is the kind of game that I like because it just represents a steady progression. No pressure to become maxed out, because at some point you will be. But at the rate we're going, it seems that the only way to be maxed out is if you pay. Paying for the gold pass like I did. Because right now, there's now even more. Damn it. There's now another place for a resource sink. Heroes. What's stopping Clash of Clans now to add a 6th hero? A 7th one? Why not add a hero at every Town Hall level? That will be 18 heroes to do by the end of 2025. But by the time they add a hero to each Town Hall above 7, no, that will be. I'd argue that yes, it could be 18 heroes by the time 2025 comes and every Town Hall has a new hero. That's joking, maybe. But I don't know. It's always a possibility, but I think what someone pointed out is, look at the amount of levels the Medium Prince has to Town Hall, up to Town Hall 15. And look at the levels he has up to Town Hall 17, 90. And this guy only has 88. What's stopping Supercell now from adding 5 new levels to each hero every Town Hall, or even 10 to a few? What's stopping Supercell from just adding a new level to everything and keep adding more things? Smaller defenses, keep merging. As far as I know, the grind can be endless. So, if the grind is endless and there's too many Town Hall levels, then what's the solution? I'd argue the solution could be in the clan capital. I cannot access clan capital right now, but if you look below, there seems to be enough space for another 10 halls, another 10 bases. Clan Capital could have another 10 capital halls and make these incredibly hard to get. Much like how getting to level 10 back in the day was a big achievement. At least correction. Make getting to Capital Hall 20 a huge achievement. Much like back in 2015, getting your clan level to level 10 was a big deal. Because back then, the only way to get to Capital Hall level 10, getting to the clan level 10 was through Clan Wars. That was the only way to get EXP. for the clan. So if you got to level 10 sooner and your clan didn't die out, because that's another problem, clans die, clans are born and dead, then your clan is a big deal. Getting to clan capital level 20 then will mean that the entire clan is in this together, working to get to the highest clan capital and keeping the clan alive. It could be a new status symbol that will actually mean something, and it will be fixed. In Supercell could just keep adding a few events here and there, maybe work around the builder hall, and maybe find a way to monetize the other two, the builder hall and the clan capital, so that is still a moneymaker for them, and keep the town hall levels capped out at some point, or at least not add them every year, maybe every 2 years, 3. Remember when Pokemon was adding a generation every 3 years, so the competitive seasons felt like they were very well defined. And that's what I remember with Town Hall 11, Town Hall 12, Town Hall 10, and Town Hall 12. So I think that's really all the thoughts I want to share. I really like the game. I'm just not in the mood to be stressed out when there's a lot to be stressed out in real life. Clash of Clans is supposed to be that kind of escape from reality, not another chore, not another job, not something that leads to constant harassment because you're never good enough. My clanmates are great people. I'll say that. We had fun, and I think we even had a few. We had a few inside jokes with each other, which is not something that happens with. It's not something that I go through every day, because the last time I had an inside joke, I was being called a J, and then I say I am not a J. And it's those kinds of jokes that kind of just will be offensive to outsiders, understandably, but it's just ludicrous in the inside. And that's the praise I can give for my clan. And I'm thankful for the time they've given me, the experiences and the memories. But I guess it's time for me to move on and take another break, heal up, and maybe get back at the game when probably Town Hall 18 is already out, and I've well accepted that I will never be maxed out again. But, at the end of the day, after being maxed out, it's not that big of a deal, At least, it's not what it's cracked up to be. Having a fixed town hall that you'll end the game at does give you a fixed goalpost instead of a moving one, and does help your wallet. So if you want to have fun with the game, just put it under your control and play the game under your terms. This has the longest video I've probably made for this, but I take a while to talk. But I hope you guys liked it. It's unscripted. I'm trying to be authentic here. And I'll probably see you in another probably DDR or Pal World video. I don't know. Peace to all, and hope this shit eventually ends.